Hey, how's it going, everybody? I don't want to be too long, but I just want to make a video that I just felt compelled to make it. And this is going to be controversial. Some people, I think most people are probably going to agree with me on this. But there's always people that just don't agree. But that's the nature of what it is about the what we think and how we think and our ability to be free to think how we think and what we like and what we don't like. So with that being said, I don't want to be very long because I think this is my opinion, but I feel strongly about this. I think of all the skill sets, whether you are a painter, a sculptor, you do abstract painting, or whatever the case may be. Let's say you are a musician or whatever the case may be. I think the one skill set that there are so many more people that just don't possess this that wish they did, and that is us being a singer. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody can sing. Everybody can sing. The problem is everybody cannot sing well or good or even at a level that makes them everyone just cannot sing that you as a producer or a record label or whatever can hear potential to be a great artist. There are some artists out there, and don't get me wrong, there are some people that can't sing that happen to make it in the industry, but they had, and I'm talking about during the 80s, even the 70s maybe. There's been times where people are not great singers, but the music and the band and a lot of stuff carried them over where the song was just good enough that that I think the production of the song, the arrangement of the song, and everything was just good enough to make them say, or how, and I'm talking about certain genres of music where it is not required for you to be a good singer, but it's required for you to be able to lead the song in a way that people like the song. And I'm talking about, there's a huge difference between listening to an artist like when Luther Vandross was alive and how smooth and silky he sung compared to, listening to Back in Black, by AC/DC. That guy, yeah, what he does for ACD, the lead vocals he does on AC/DC works for that style of music. But it's definitely not going to work for trying to do like a ballad. Like trying to do like a Careless Whispers, Michael, George Michael, Careless Whisper, where it actually requires for you to actually have vocal control and tone and all this. And that is just one of those, talents that it's like, I wish I could sing like Glenn Jones. I wish I could sing like Luther Vandross or Stevie and all these artists out there. I wish I could sing like that. I just don't. And there are lots of people, and I'll put it like this. The sad part is most people that can't sing, that think they can sing, and I'm talking about people that think they're on the same level as some of these major artists that's made it out there, like Luther Vandross, Jeffrey Osborne, Glenn Jones, female-wise, a Mariah Carey or I'm going to go to a Gladys Knight or Aretha Franklin or, Patti LaBelle, or just go, when it comes to artists like that, or even some younger artists, or, whether it's, Beyonce or whatever the case. There are a lot of art, and then there are some artists that they have a unique sound, but and on top of that, there's some artists that work. I'll go like I'll go with like Annie, Lennox, from the Eurythmics or something. They had a unique voice to their style, or I would go back to but baby, I can't wait. New Shoes. Her style, Point of No Return. Just there are certain artists that it works, that they're good enough that it works for a certain genre of music. But then there are some artists that just aren't good singers, but it worked for, like we can dance, we want to, that dude is, but it worked for that song, but he's not a good singer. He's just not. But even when you go back in black, it's sad. I think the gotta be black. Get loose with the, but it works for that rock style of music. That works for that, but it won't work for trying to sing, Careless Whisper. It just wouldn't know. He can never pull that off. He's not that kind of singer. Gerald Levert when he was alive. Just a Johnny Gill, a Stephanie Mills. Those are artists. And it's just that when I go back to I'll wrap it up. The Dunning-Kruger effect was really about two psychologists that studied the stupidity acts of stupid people. And the problem with stupid people is when you're dealing with stupid people, the problem with stupid people and the stupid things they do or say is they don't know they're stupid because their level of comprehension is, they're not on a person who actually have intelligence or a certain level of common sense. That's why they always do stupid crap. So the problem with the stupid people is the problem with a stupid person is they're stupid, but they don't know they're stupid because they're stupid, right? So it's the same thing with a person that sing, a person that think they can sing but they can't sing. But the problem is they think they can sing but they can't sing. They think they can sing, but the problem is they're too stupid. Well, I'm gonna say too stupid. That's not gonna say. They've been psychologically led and misled to believe that they're a better singer than what they really are. And there are a lot of people. There are some people in the industry that, there's a lot of people, most people that are not in the industry, that are out there trying to sing that think they're better than what they are. And that's the sad part, because there's some people that think, I'm this great level of singer, and really they're not. Most people are mediocre. Most people are. Like me, I am not a singer. I just, in my 50-something years of being on this earth, I will never be that Luther Vandross, Freddie Jackson, Glenn Jones, Peabo Bryson. The people that I love, when Kenny Green from Intro, the group of Intro, a singer like that. I love the way Kenny Green used to sing on, when he was with Intro. But I'm not no Kenny Green. There are a lot of undiscovered talent, guys and girls that can sing, that are as good as the artists that been on, that have made it on record labels and gotten record contracts and deals that just never got a break. There are lots of people like that. So to sum up the video, I just realized I'm looking at my the colors of my pyramid here, the green and the blue here. It was sitting up here, but I'm also looking at my lava lamp and it's blue and green. I'm like, that's that's a crazy out. Let me get back to the heart of the video. So there are people out there that are amazing that just never been heard. There are people out there that sound just as good as some artists. Like, there's some guys out there that sound just like Brian McKnight. There's some people out there that sound just like Luther Vandross. There are always somebody out there that sound like somebody that never got to discover. Because one thing, the problem with sounding like someone, and if you sing like that, is people gonna accuse you of trying to sound like the artist that you're trying to mimic. And a lot of times that's not the case. It's just that they happen to have the same tone as that famous person. It's not that they're trying to do by design. Like, for example, one of my favorite, she's Dutch, I believe she's Dutch, and her name is Glynis. And she sounds just like Whitney Houston. And she's an amazing singer. An amazing singer. She was on America's Got Talent. And on top of that, she's gorgeous. But, once again, you're talking about this, and I ought to do a video on that. I ought to do a video on the competitiveness of the music industry. That's a good video to do. But anyhow, it's very competitive, and sometimes it's to the point where it's so hard to get recognized. And I'm talking about all the great talent, the undiscovered talent. But going back to the initial video, I'll go back to my initial point at the end of the video. I honestly, in my personal opinion, out of all the skill sets that we possess, I honestly believe that in my personal opinion, I think that being able to sing is one of those skill sets that a lot of people, including myself, desire to do, but a lot of us just can't do it, or don't sound as good as some of the people that are really good at doing it. A lot of us don't sound as good as them, even though in our minds we can suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect. I think I sound as good as that person when we don't, or whatever the case. And then I'm not saying that's the case for everyone, because there are a lot of people that can sound just as good as the artist. They just haven't been discovered. So, but I think personally, that's one of those talents for the majority of people that can't sing, that wish they can sing. You just got to come to the realization that sometimes, most cases, singing is not a lot of people's thing. There's not a lot of people can do it, but a lot of people wish they could do it. But I think that's with a lot of talent. A lot of people wish they could play an instrument and can't. I've heard people that say it, and I've told this now in the video on this. I've heard people sit there and say, as much as, like me, I wish I could sing like some of the people that I admire. But I've had people that can sing like the people that I admire, can sing just as good as them, but they wish they could play keyboards or an instrument as good as like me playing the keyboards. They wish they could play keyboards as well as I am. And I'm like, well, man, yeah. And the reason I'm summing this up, the reason why I think the singing talent is because out of all the skill sets, singing gets the most attention when it comes to talent. I'm not saying that drummers, keyboard players, bass players, guitar players, horn players, sax players, trumpet players don't get the talent. But like, if you're in a room for the people, it's like when Jamie Foxx is on a piano singing, he gets, and I'm not saying it's all about trying to drive all these women wild, but the response that I see, the response that I see when a guy can sing, the women go crazy out of all there are women that go crazy, they really like, if I'm on the keyboard and I'm doing all this amazing solo stuff or playing, I get attention from that, but not to the point where you gotta, if I see artists like Silk on stage, the women, it's kind of like, even when you watch the movies, like the 5 Heartbeats or whatever, whatever, when you can sing it, especially A guy, it just, man, a guy that can sing like that, can blow like that, man, I don't care who it is. It just drives women crazy to hear a guy that can blow. It just never. There was a video where a guy he sounded just like Brian McKnight, and he went to go serenade this girl for her. You know, he was paid to go serenade this girl, and you could see their facial expression when he started singing, and they were like, oh, you know. So that is almost one of those jealous, envious things. Like, man, I wish I could sing like that. I hear that more than any other talent. Yeah, there are people, you know, there are guys that, man, I wish I could play like you as far as keyboards. But the numbers are way smaller of people that wanting to play keyboards or just all the instruments compared to being able to sing. The reaction from the crowd is so much greater from singers than it is musicians. And some people might disagree, and I also think it also depends on the crowd too, but that's going to do it for the video. I was trying to let me show the video. Tell me what you think. Do you think singing is one of those talents that everyone wish they could do, especially when you listen to something like when Jodeci or all these artists out there and you hear them singing, just watching guys and I'm watching the response from the women. Or when women are singing and just, guys are just, when Whitney Houston was singing, when I start naming all these amazing artists, tell me that doesn't, out of all the talent, tell me singing doesn't do something, just amazes you when someone can sing. So that's going to do it for the video. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.